Hey everybody, it's Mark and welcome to Article Club, where beginning in January we're going to be doing a deep dive on one article a month, hopefully to be reading more in the new year, to read more closely, to reflect on the article, and to connect with other thoughtful readers. I'm really excited that you're here. Actually, there's been a lot of signups, 20 or 30 in the past week. So welcome, and this smaller and more intimate reading community, it looks like it's growing, so welcome. And so we are in December, so there's going to be a couple more weeks just to talk about what this article club is going to be about. And right from the beginning, I want to get your ideas as well. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I want to share with you some of the things that I might be thinking about. But this is more really, hopefully more of a we. This is more like a club where we will all figure it out in January, February, and March. And so right from the beginning, I do want to invite you to share your ideas to make this club as strong as it can be. But in today's episode, very quick message to you. I wanted to go over some of my ideas about sort of like what the article club could be like from a week-to-week approach, given that we're going to be focusing on one article a week. So if the whole goal is to read more closely and to read more and then to reflect and then connect, I was thinking that each week could really focus on one of these different items. So, for example, in the first week, I was thinking of I would introduce the article, or we would choose the article. I would introduce it a little bit. I would say why I or we chose it. And I would also offer it on the post for people to annotate if you do want to annotate it. Obviously, that's optional. But what I was thinking in the first week is that you would sort of see, hey, do I want to commit to this month? Do I want to commit to this article? Am I in? And so like in the comments, everybody would sort of like opt in and say who you are, introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm going to do this month. And we'll just see if it's like 5 people, 15 people, 20 people, and we'll just sort of know who's going to be sort of more committed that month. So that was the idea for the first week. And then in the first week, we would all read it, the article, and annotate it optionally. And the second week would be an opportunity to sort of start reflecting and discussing the article. I was thinking in an open discussion thread, sort of like a written thread where I would have some questions, or we would create some questions together, and everybody would be able to share their ideas and hopefully connect with each other, but in written form. And so that was the second week. Just sort of like an open discussion as well as an opportunity to ask more questions. So that's week 2. As far as week 3, it's sort of moving more toward reflection and then also to connecting with others. And this is, I'm pretty excited about this because with each of the articles that I'm going to be picking or we're going to be picking, I'm going to be reaching out to the author. So week 3 could either be an interview with the author, hopefully with our questions, where they would respond to our questions, and or a podcast episode where a couple of you who really are into the article would record your thoughts with me based on your thoughts on the article as well as questions from the overall club. So it would either be the author and or some of us on, say, like a 20 or 30 minute podcast episode where we continue this dialogue. So that would be week 3. And then week 4 is a little bit harder to do, but what I was hoping for at the end of each month is that we would come together locally, if you want to do an in-person article club on the article, like a deeper dive on the article, and or we would do an online discussion via Zoom. And I don't know if we can do both in each month. It would be great. And the hardest part, obviously, in this last part is coming up with the best time for all of us to come together, or at least the most of us to come together to have these conversations. So hopefully in like weeks 2 and 3, we can start thinking about figuring out a common time where we can all talk. And obviously, I would love it if we can sort of commit to a general time that works for all of us, but we all have busy schedules. And so I want to make sure that we're really, really inclusive on that. And then also in the 4th week, in addition to meeting up either online or in person, I was thinking of having that last post as an opportunity to recap and debrief. Like, what did we learn and how's it going with the article club? Like, what kinds of changes would we want to make for the next article and the next month? And in that last week, we would also talk about other articles in the future that we would want to discuss, because it really depends also if we want the author's point of view. because if we do, then I would then reach out to the author, and then they would probably be in on the conversation, say like a month or two down the line. We would need to prep that. So anyway, those are my thoughts, and I'm wondering what you think, and also what your ideas are. What do you want to get out of Article Club? Like, what do you think the essential moves would be? How should we do this Article Club? If you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments, or you know how to contact me at mark@highlighter.cc. I would love to hear from you. We have a couple more weeks before we launch, and so thank you so much for your interest.